tonight, the Falls Count Everywhere podcast presents the SICW Halloween Spooktacular Aftermath. And you probably can't hear me now. Now you can probably hear me. I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby. I was just saying it's a special Tuesday night edition here of your Falls Count Everywhere podcast. And glad that you could join us here. Yeah, always PT.
I'm never going to miss an opportunity to hang out with you, my good friend.
Yes, I know. It's well, that's true, you know, especially with this upcoming. I want to know who the hell PT is. There's only one PT I know, and he's not here. So, yes, hold up. It's Tuesday. Thank you, Corey. You can know how to read a calendar, my friend. Thank you very much. Just giving Corey, I'm giving you trouble, my friend. It's all right.
What's up, Corey?
Yeah, Corey, thanks for tuning in, man. Hey, we are live now. Share the feed if you can. We're going to be talking about this past weekend here. And then, of course, we're also going to be talking about some major headlines toward the end of the show. But let's go and knock this out of the park here, and we'll cover some more when we get our guests for next week here. So this coming weekend, we have. No. Never mind. Someone just hit me on the messenger secretly. So this Friday, November 6th, American Championship Wrestling invades Cuba, Missouri once again. And we will have, there we go, PYT will be in the house. Exactly. Look at that. I didn't even know you were wearing that.
Yep.
So Playboy Double H will be in the house. Part of that second annual Stud Memorial Cup Rumble. Course, I'll be in that as well. I want to try, but yeah. So anyway, we'll you're expect some awesome action. All champions expected to be there. Zero Hype Guy Smith, Miss Hyde, pending on a Miss Hyde got a little bit into a injury scenario last week. So she's looking to see if doctors will clear her, and she will have that checked out tomorrow and see if she is clear to go. Hopefully she'll be there. And then, of course, the tag team champions, the Lumberjacks, will be in the action facing the Texas Outlaws with GQ Ewing in their corner. So well, hey.
Joking.
Yeah. And Sunday, will be World Powerhouse Wrestling's November Reign at the VFW in Collinsville. $10 for adults, $5 for kids. Doors will open at 4 for VIP ticket holders, which, of course, they're $20, and everybody else at 4:30. Bell time will be at 5. You can go to wpw.ticketleak.com for more ticket information. That's all I got right now. Of course, we'll be talking about the next weekend as well, because there are a couple shows on the 13th. MMWA will be coming back again. We're going to have Moondog Grover, Damian Blade Part 8. And see if Damian Blade will finally get his chance at getting that MMWA title. And, of course, SICW will return to East Carondelet for their big show. And, I poked the bear. and so we'll be there. So hold on, let me see.
Who did you make mad?
We're gonna find out here in a minute. Hello, is this who I think it is?
You know, you have a so-called co-host saying "ew" about somebody you're talking about. So, what kind of person do you think that is?
What?
A jealous person.
Jealous person? No, man. We like to poke the bear, and we apparently that this bear woke up. It's GQ, everybody.
Go back to your margaritas on the beach.
Nah, he don't do no margaritas. I don't know what he does.
Margaritas and all that. No, I'm having fine wine down in Texas right now.
Whatever.
Hey, they can make. I'm sure they make good fine wine in Texas, but I bet you they make bitter whiskey. I'll tell you that right now.
Facts.
And now that I got all the paperwork back from my lawyer, we definitely will all be there on Saturday, and I will be making that announcement tomorrow morning.
Well, you just made the announcement now, didn't you?
Well, maybe he's got a special announcement on a different platform. But
true.
But no, I'm interested to see if the Texas Outlaws can knock off the Lumberjacks again, and without any excuses. Oh, look at this!
Hey, the Lumberjacks are just like the what they're named after from Denny's, the Lumberjack Slam. And you go to any Denny's, when you get a Lumberjack Slam, it's old, it's moldy, it's not enjoyable, just like the Lumberjacks.
And it multiplies in the quantity of 18. So.
Okay, no, I'm out on that one. Ruby, I see you being the first one thrown over there by my guy over the top rope and the Stud Memorial Cup Battle Royal.
Yeah. Hey,
I don't know. Ruby has some good references for Rumble. I mean, Battle Royale. So why am I saying Royal Rumbles? What the heck?
Yeah, Zeke.
You got to think though. You got to think. One of my guys is one that won it last year.
Yeah, and
last time. I mean, we didn't have it last year, but you know.
Yeah, the year before. It's okay.
Yeah, he was a fan favorite. Now he kind of stooped to your level, so I don't know how well that's going to work out. So
a lot better than it did for him before.
We'll see. We'll see. It's a
well now that I grace my presence on your show, your ratings are going to go through the roof. You can cut me a check later. Bye.
You'd be lucky if you get a McChicken with that check too. So I'm just saying. Oh my God! But anyway, he actually used the actual line that I was going to advertise here for you guys. So we do have the line open 314-764-5540. That is our line here tonight that we will be talking about. We're going to be talking about this coming weekend. So I'll try to see if I can get something.
Hey, there's that PT guy.
Yeah. Who's the Shane guy? I have no idea. Hey, hi Shane.
I like Shane. Shane's a good guy.
Oh God, I love giving people trouble. So I'm going to set here because we're going to. Oh, hold on. I got to put my directory in a different place here because we have got a ton of photos to look into for this weekend, and it's awesome. It's why are they making open to this page?
We are live. Anything can happen, and everything does.
I know. Why do they? Oh my gosh! I think I'm gonna have to resort my folders. I seriously do. I think I have to resort my folders. I don't know what's going on here. Why would they? Okay, so let's open everything. See, it's even listed as what it should be. Okay. Well, we'll get to that if possible. Okay. We'll just go with that. We'll just swing it. I don't care. But we got an itinerary, so we'll do what we can. We always do. Oh my gosh. It's late. It's kind of later than what I usually. I swear I should have like a bedtime here these days. I changed my outlook here. There we go. Is this one? This is one. There we go.
Ooh, Douglas O'Shea throwing shade to the butcher still.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I know. Oh my god. Oh yeah, please do not call the butcher in here.
Well, I wasn't calling anybody in here.
I know. If I did, I'm gonna have the number one headache. So I'm not going to, not going into that. So
Corey,
here we
be
go.
nice.
Halloween Spooktacular. This was this past Saturday, guys. If you want to know what kind of event you missed, well,
Yay!
here's here's one thing you missed.
That's myself and the kiddos.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that fine looking group here. Look at Cowboy having a good time and always smiling for his fans. And look at this.
The wife getting choked by
Yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter. We had a great time, like meeting the legends. And one of the things that stuck out to me the most, like I went there for Haku 100%, and I had a great conversation with him. Got to tell him about how much when I got introduced to him, it was the Faces of Fear, him and yes, okay, this is what I was gonna say. Perfect picture. So Ricky Morton, I want to say, is one of the greatest dudes to ever have a conversation with. I spent about 45 minutes talking to him about just life in general, his kids, our kids. Super great guy, super fun to be around. God dang, it was so much fun. That's a good photo right there. I like that photo.
Yeah, that's got all y'all's, and I think you got
We're missing one.
Yeah, you're missing. Yeah, you're missing one of the girls, ain't you?
Yeah, she didn't want. She was done trying to meet all the wrestlers and stuff. She wanted to go sit down.
Yeah. So there you go. So apparently, Corey likes Haku as well.
Haku was awesome, and hopefully you have it in here.
I think I do.
There's the whole family of the king. My son's so much taller. Oh, like, look at him block my head. Ruin the family photo.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, is this good, Dad?
It was great. King was cool.
Yeah, King was good. And let's see. I know I had you in here. I don't know. It was in before. I don't want to get to the everything yet. Well,
the goodies.
Yeah, all the goodies yet. I don't know. Gosh.
Now you're showing some of the goodies.
Yeah.
But
we'll get to that.
I had the pleasure of having the tongue and death grip put on me.
Oh yeah. And I know your picture was in there. I know I had it. I don't know why it's not doing it. I bet you. I don't know.
Haku was legitimately one of my favorites growing up as a kid. Like, I freaking loved Haku. Him just coming in, destroying people. Him and the Barbarian.
Yeah. Yeah. The Faces of Fear and
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, they had a good stint also with WWF and WCW in that. So yeah. See, now people down now they see all the big crowds. I had a picture of the crowd somewhere. I'm sure it's somewhere.
It was jam packed. It was.
Oh yeah, it was. And in fact, if I had any way to show the picture, I probably would. But I don't know. I know it's in here. I just don't know why they're not putting it in its place. So I don't know. Maybe hold on. Maybe if I do a cleanup. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why this program is doing, but right now we're looking at let's go just dive into the first match here.
Right.
Yeah. Which was it was Gary Jackson and Gil Rogers taking on Ken Casa and Chris Hargis. And these two teams they're starting to have a little bit of a feud, even now that the tag team titles are not even in the picture. They're still having quite a bit of a show. You know,
I was really impressed with Chris Hargis.
Yeah,
did I say right?
Hargis? Yeah, Chris Hargis. Yeah, I mean he's a former classic champion. So I mean he's definitely got a resume that stands out in SICW. So, and no, hope you're not in that picture. I don't know which picture you might be in. So, But yeah, I as far as I know, I think Casa and Hargis somehow took the victory in this one. Um,
Yes.
I didn't see this match. There's a lot I didn't see, but I know that Chris Hargis did.
There
Um,
was a back and forth scenario that went down, and the great manager that is Travis Cook got in
yeah,
position where it needed to be. Some things might have not have got seen by the ref, and the roll up got done.
yeah, yeah. So that's yeah. Now, that's what a manager is there for, and I can tell you, knowing that I've had managers off and on. Uh, but yeah, so let's kind of look into this match here. This was actually the next match on the card with Jerry King Lawler and Kowalski. And my scheduled tag team partner was not cleared to wrestle somehow, and we'll get into that later. But there's Curtis Wild with Wildfire making a return. And of course, Kowalski is over in the far right. So these guys went at it. And of
He
course, there's Jerry off by himself.
So
Uh,
you remember the show prior to this, going into the spectacular, how Kowalski literally drove it in there. He was going to do everything in his power to end uh, the good King, and he did four heart punches, and tried. The King still came back.
yeah, it still came back. So yeah, we're not. Yeah, I'm going to get back to one of these comments here, but a little later on. But yeah, Curtis was talking up the game, and you see Jerry, of course, was like, "Yeah, I'm impressed, whatever." But he got Jerry distracted to the point where Kowalski did attack him from behind and was basically on Jerry most of the match. And
I think it
you,
went like 3 minutes and 28 seconds.
God, that's wow. But you can see Kowalski, he attacked and he stayed on Jerry, choking Jerry in the corner there. And you can see Wildfire just really giving the instruction of Kowalski, like, just squeeze the ever living life out of him, will you please? And of course, referee Nick Ridenauer had to get on Kowalski several times to get him out, to stop with the choking, because trust me, I hear it in my ear from time to time in my matches in SICW. But here's a good one. Just Kowalski just putting the hammer down to Jerry. I mean, he had Jerry down for a good
But
part of this match, but then he
he
uh, he went to the well too many times, as one would say.
he
Uh,
he also he had him won. He had that match finished and was going to have momentum going right into that battle royale. But no, he had to go in old fashioned, and unfortunately lift Jerry up. And I think it was his demise when he thought he could play with the King a little bit longer and beat him up a little bit more, and the King took advantage of just that.
yeah, so here we go, and you know Kowalski went for a splash once many times. He hit hard on the canvas, and that gave time Jerry to get up. And let me tell you, the man could throw a fist for somebody who's 72 years old. I'll tell you. And yeah, so we see here that he had him rocking. And we'll look at this next pick I'm going to throw up here. Standing drop kick.
A beautiful standing drop kick.
Standing drop kick by Jerry Lawler. And trusted that other foot got up there too. And he knocked Kowalski down, wasted no time, got up and dropped another big fist. And the result of that is what you see right here. Jerry the King Lawler is your winner. Um, and so Jerry took a beating, but Kowalski did not dish out enough, and Jerry found a way. Once he found his way out, he took advantage and didn't quit. So, congratulations to Jerry the King Lawler, and also, hey, you know what? Congratulations to Kowalski, because not really many guys get this opportunity to face a legend like this. I mean, a man who's been in the business 51 years and is still going today. You know when I think of a guy like that, a guy in his early 70s, a guy who's been in the business so long and still active at his point, Luthez. That's what
Right.
I think of.
Yeah.
Luthez had his very last match at 74 years old. And of course, Herb Simmons is watching here this evening. Thank you very much, Herb.
Good evening, Herb.
The man behind the plan here for this whole Belle Clare Fairgrounds.
He almost made me cry at the spectacular, by the way.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, we can definitely get into that a little. So here's what I'm talking about.
There's that photo.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to choke my Mac here after the show's done because I wanted to do this earlier at the beginning, but this is what you missed, guys. Right here. I mean, a huge crowd. You see back in the far, there's the entryway. There's those two rings. People getting ready. And just a packed house there. I would say it was closer to 900 people that were there. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm undermining that, but it seemed like there's around that many people. Trust me, a lot of that place was filled up.
Oh, it was packed.
Yeah, it was packed. Like I said,
and the nice thing about this crowd, actually, and I want to give kudos where kudos is. And I told this to my wife too. Like I bought Ed Wheatley's book and stuff, and I had it sitting on our chair, like holding our spot. The cool thing about, and this is, I think this kind of goes for the majority of wrestling when it comes to like indie shows and stuff, and the great company of SICW truly showed it. The fan support is no one messed with people's stuff. Like everybody was really cool. Everyone was cordial. I mean, we were intermingling. My kids were hanging out with some of the families there. Like it was just a genuine good time meeting wrestling fans, getting to talk about experiences, everything, and getting a couple pats on my back was even better. And that's what I was meaning by Herb, making me almost cry.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it's like this is, I mean, if I was back in the back and for me, it was the night I was trying to keep my focus in for what I had to do that night. And then I was, trying to steer away from the total feeling of nostalgia that took me back to my childhood watching these guys on TV and growing up. And there were, a lot of these guys were there. And so here we go. Kicking off at the beginning of the night, you had Sergeant Slaughter that was there. And of course, now I'm going to get different. I hate this thing with a passion. Okay. So apparently it's hi Sarge. Well, we'll see others later. Apparently, so yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go, I guess, to the next match that we actually had here on my sheet was Flawless Jake Lawless against Jason Breed, which I did not get to see.
I have to say, Flawless Jake Lawless has to be easily, besides you, Ruby, one of my favorite SICW wrestlers.
Yeah. They Jake, I don't know how many times he might have made his debut down. I don't know. I don't know if he was down there before. Maybe Herb can correct me on that. Maybe I thought that was Jake Lawless's first time down there. But if he's made that impression on you, then hey, I know that he came out of New Breed Wrestling.
Continue. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
His whole demeanor when he came out to the ring, when he came, like entrance music, all that stuff, like in-ring ability. I mean, for one, both guys did phenomenal in that ring. Really had me captivated, make me want to watch him more and keep that going. So, like, to me, that's a feud that could go on for a little bit for SICW and any other promotion that pick him up. But I'd kind of like to see him keep going in SICW. But just everything about him, he reeked star.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the impression I got when I saw him in the back in the locker room too. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you, Herb. I was wrong. I was actually wrong. He was actually from USA Championship Wrestling down down at around the Memphis area, Tennessee. Where the Burt Prentice was running, and of course we lost Burt. We lost Burt earlier on this year, and so no, Jake is yeah. So there's a lot of great talent out of that promotion there, and we already talked about the Buddy Murphy from Wish, apparently that you most affectionately called him with Trey Baxter.
I feel bad. Trey Baxter is a great wrestler, but I'm sorry. That's all I saw when I saw him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lawless, man, my daughters and I, we were like all about him. We thought he was cool. Like, we liked him standing on the chair, like just everything about him. Like, it just was cool. I liked it. I enjoyed that character and that person. Great in-ring ability.
Yeah, just a great, tremendous. Yeah, the guy's got great talent, and I didn't really encounter him in the Battle Royal. That's the only spoiler you're going to get so far, unless if my picture program wants to just jump right into that one right after this match. Oh shoot! So that was an impressive match. If you missed it, you missed a lot. And Jason Bree with his experience and Jake Lawless with his talent, that made for a very stellar match. Because Jake Lawless was former USA Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion. So,
he's with OVW.
Oh yeah, OVW.
Nice.
Yeah. And I also, I think one of our previous guests here made his way to OVW last Thursday too, with Johnny Dark Sway, Johnny Swade. I think made an appearance at OVW last week. Yeah, I've actually meant to reach out to him and see how that was. But yeah, he was down there too this past Thursday. So we're having some guys that have been on the show, moving some places, making waves in the sport of professional wrestling. So, and hey, it's a sport that's still happening, man.
That's what I love about wrestling, right there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's see, Corey, how can you watch OVW? I don't know.
I know on so shout out to Fit TV. You can watch OVW on there. OVW also has on multiple streaming sites. I think Roku. I want to say LG TVs have it now too, because I have it upstairs on one of our TVs. They have an OVW actual streaming platform that is completely free. So OVW's out there. You can get it. I also think they stream right to YouTube too.
Yeah. So so just look up OVW and try to look them up on YouTube, look them up on Roku, and I'm sure that you'll be able to find them for sure. So let's get into this here, and hopefully, let's see. Let's cross fingers as we go through with this match. This is X Aldwall that's in the ring, and this is Miranda Glam Gordy, daughter of the late great fabulous Freebird Terry Bam Bam Gordy. And of course, in there with Niles Plunk K. So apparently it's PLL. He spells his last name PLONK, but apparently the K is pronounced by itself, and so it's Plunk K. So I guess I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's
This was another fun match though too.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive. My daughters were a big fan of Gordy's daughter and Niles.
Yeah. As you can see, Niles Plunquet had there was wine in that glass as they went in. You can see that glass is empty. So he already had alcohol in the system before he decided to wrestle.
Liquid courage.
You don't need that much liquid courage to face Axe. No disrespect to Axe, but I'm just saying, I guess kind of calm the nerve. I guess just to calm the nerves of the atmosphere. I mean, this is a large crowd here this past Saturday. So, as you can see, Axe had the better of Niles at one point. The two went back and forth. But this is how We've actually got a photo finish here on how this match went. Let's see how he pulls the legs up, and look at that. Our referee has got blinders and tunnel vision as Axe Allwell counts to 3 using with the leverage of the ropes. And man, see, when someone uses the rope, this is how. I'm sorry, I'm going to talk on the heel's perspective here. This is how you use the ropes if you're going to get away with something like that. Look how cramped up Niles Plaquet is. He's got nowhere to go. And he's got to have the strength of like getting a hippo off off of him to
that's beautiful work in the ring.
I mean, he's gone. I mean, yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're getting some comments about some matches we're going to bring up here later. So, all right, ever so trusty Haku, what do we have next? Oh, okay. All right, here we go. So this is what I was talking about right here. So it was time for me and Richard Shaw here. So, and then of course, she's probably still watching here.
She doesn't know what's up.
Yeah, she. This is the woman in this picture is Peggy Mender here, and who is the sister of the late Jerry Bullion, who was a longtime SICW fan. And I played and psyched out to the crowd who didn't like me so much, and some of their family were not saying some nice things to me. So I decided to give myself a little bit of a break before I went into the ring, and I sat in the reserved seat that was meant for Jerry. So that ticked off Peggy to the point where she got up and she jacked me across the face with an open hand. So, yeah. So that's the reason I kind of looked like I got the taste knocked out of my mouth, because I did.
She hit you pretty hard.
She did. And then there's my wife there taking evidence in case we want to file suit, but I don't want to do that. So, so I'm not going to do that. But I played. I kind of played that off a little, and then proceeding on, and then of course,
look at Jessica saying it served you right.
Oh yeah, served me right. Well,
he was worn out. He had to sit down.
Well, hey, look, it's like if you get real nasty with me, it may trigger me to do something nasty back. Could have been disrespectful, maybe, but it wasn't to the point where I wasn't. Trust me, I've seen people do worse. Okay, and I did not do worse. I did not do worse. So,
you're just trying to conserve your energy for a great match.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there was a good energy, but I didn't sit long for certain. But it was me and Richard Shaw. I guess if somebody wanted to be ignorant about the temporary team up, the two dicks, that's what you had that night. And
I didn't even think of that. That's terrible.
Yeah. Well,
new tag team name right there, Two Dicks.
Yeah, Two Dicks. And
the Richard.
Yeah, all the Richard. Oh God. Taking off Flash Flanagan and the Big Texan here. As you can see, we had our strong points, we had our weak points here with Flash getting to Richard, and then of course me getting back. And oh yeah, here we go. I thought that was my mother-in-law first. No.
Consistency.
Yeah. So I was like, what the hell is that in there?
By the way, back to your tag team match real fast before we go into that.
Yeah.
You made mention a while back on one of the other episodes about Big Texan's lariat.
Yeah.
Oh my God. When Big Texas hit Richard Shaw with that lariat, you heard a thump throughout that whole building. And that's a big building. But you heard, whoo, I hurt after that thump.
When I tell these people, when I wrestled Big Texan by myself in a singles match in Swansea 3.5 weeks ago, when I told you that everything just stopped in my body, it stopped in my body. It's no joke. I'm telling you. And then Richard Shaw, well, he fell victim to the lariat here. And as we can see, we're going to go back to Legends now. Greg Valentine decided, hey, you forgot about me. So, oh my gosh. Uh, I guess is that his autographs? Yeah, his Laird is badass, Jessica. That's for certain. Is he holding all those autographs in there? I don't know. It almost looks like
I don't know. He was doing business. This is all Greg was doing.
I'm not going to say he's carrying a man purse, so I'm just going to go on with that. Oh, okay, back to our match. So,
take intermission.
God, yeah, we had a brief intermission. Hi, Greg. Nice to see you. So there we go. Planning the side slam to Texan, dragging it, kind of teasing Flash a little bit. Not getting the tag, and then finally Flash gets in there for the tag, and yeah, well, we're seeing this is not getting any better. So me and Flash battle to the outside, and then of course Texan getting to Richard Shaw again. We get double knocker. We get our
meetings of the minds.
Meetings of the minds. I was trying to find a picture of the lariat that was hit, but no, not to be. And but trust me, big Texan coming in there, getting the nice echo sound throughout the building of the lariat, smacking the chest of Richard Shaw, and we lost the match. So
I mean, it was Richard Shaw's fault. Like I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, he wanted to tag in. I missed a splash in the corner, and I was about ready to get my breath, and he was like, "Just get me in, just get me in." And so I tagged him in, and well, now you see what happens. So it happens. I didn't say that he had a game-winning plan, but it's action gets hot and real quick, and if you blink, you're gonna miss something. Okay, so we're gonna move straight to our next match: Superstar Steve Fender versus Bobby D.
This was another fun match, and Steve Fender definitely surprised me, and I'm a fan of his too. Bobby D, my wife really was rooting for. So you kind of had a split in our family. It was me and one of my daughters, and then the other four were all rooting for Bobby D. And here are me and my daughter rooting for Steve Fender because I'm sorry, I'm a fan of Travis Cook. Like, I'm 100% a fan of Travis Cook and his whole group of guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so we're referring back to the last match. Apparently, Hope said that Richard Shaw came out, had a head garment of Harry Potter. I don't know if he's like, trying to be part of if he's a Quidditch student or if he's a druid. I don't know what that whole garment is, but keeps his head cool and it feels comfortable when he goes to the ring. That's all I know. At least that's what he told me. Let's see. If you're referring to me, Jessica, it wasn't really my back that was hurting so much more than a reactivated leg injury that I had about 6 weeks ago that I landed on, and we'll get into that here in just a bit. But yeah, these guys put on it. Bobby D, of course, is a wrestling coach and a football coach, and Superstar Steve Fender out of the Harley Race Academy, longtime veteran. And these guys just went at it back and forth. As you can see, the fight spilled to the outside here. And of course, back inside the ring.
I mean, this match, it didn't go all over the ring. Didn't go all over the arena, but it went significantly around, and they put on a performance. They did, and it's so much. Well, we can talk about the fact of what spoils into another one of the matches later on. You wouldn't have caught this because you were too busy, being a badass in the ring in that match.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I got to focus on me, so that's why I had you there to kind of give us kind of the outtakes of what went on here this past Saturday. And just in case you didn't notice, Rock and Roll Express and Jimmy Hart say hi because we're trying to explain this match.
This comment right here.
The sleeper match of the night, those two went out there and put it off. Yeah, and they usually do.
I 100% agree with McDarby. 100%. Yeah. Oh, we'll get into that in a minute.
Yep. But yeah, so back to the action. I guess this is our way of inputting ads from for the WWE Hall of Famers or the legends. They're like, hey, don't forget about us. Okay, back to the action. And of course, Superstar Steve in the corner there. Bobby D getting, just some great shots here. Herb Simmons looking on intently. I was like, I don't know if Bobby D's getting ready to drop the leg or.
I think that's when he did the leg drop. Yeah, okay. He did the leg drop on the apron.
Yeah, that's what that was here. But I think this is more of an interest shot. But I think did Steve come out victorious in this?
Yes,
one?
Steve did end up getting the win.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So Steve Fender winning this match, and let's see, Hocus Pocus Abracadabra. What do we got next here? Oh, okay.
Oh, the bad heartedness. Now, do we have an update on Sean Vincent?
As of right now, we didn't hear anything except when he posted on his page last Sunday after the show about being still in a soft cast. So he's still battling a ankle injury, as far as I know. So
he came down nasty on it. They were putting on a decent performance right at the beginning, and then I think it was like maybe 3 minutes into the match, and Vincent landed wrong, and you could see him roll that ankle. And I just hope nothing was actually broken. I don't know if he's actually looked into that or whatnot, but it looked really dirty. One thing I do want to point out here, okay? So these two men came in with respect and shook each other's hands. And then Billy throws a toothpick in Vincent's face. And right before the bell rang, they once again shook hands again and started wrestling like nothing happened. I'm like, you just threw. I would have been mad.
A toothpick? What?
Yeah. I think it was a toothpick.
There's only one guy I know that does that, and it's not Billy McNeil.
I'm telling you right now, he threw something at Sean Vincent. I thought it was a toothpick or a sucker. I don't know. But it thudded right off of Sean's head, and then they shook hands still like it was nothing. Sean was laughing. It was pretty funny.
Oh, my God, yeah. Well,
it was at least for me, I guess.
Yeah, well, Billy does so many things, and trust me, he got to me in the other match I was in, and I'll explain some of those things. But at least we had at some point in the match where Billy, had the advantage, and of course, Sean, I thought I had some advantage pictures of Sean here, but I guess I don't. But obviously, the match had to be stopped, so I really don't know the decision on that one. So mind games for Billy McNeil is what that was. So yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I enjoy that kind of stuff. But like, it was just funny that they shook hands afterwards. Like, if I was Sean, I'd have been like, no, dude, like I'm gonna kick your ass now.
Yeah. So right now, Herb said that he is still sore and doing some therapy. Well, if it's not broken, that's good.
That's a good sign. Yeah.
If it was broken, I probably would have known something by now, but usually with some type of strain or anything, it's like a strain or a sprain. Usually, depending on how severe it is, you're probably looking about 2 or 4 weeks of resting and recovery and therapy before you're back to 100% on that. That's usually the turnaround time on that. Trust me, I've had many injuries in my time.
Well, Hulk goes on here to say he's waiting for the swelling to go down for the MRI. And there's nothing that was broken, but hopefully nothing was torn, which makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know why I just put the back up here, but all right, let's roll the dice to see what we get next.
Rock and roll.
Here we go.
Here you go, Corey.
We're going to get into this here. We're looking at the Rock and Roll Express, who were there that night, and let me just tell you. Knowing that on the other side of the entire locker room area, I could hear Ricky Morton just laugh and giggle and gaggle or whatever. He was just kind of joking. I think he might have had a little something to drink that night before he went out. I don't know. But or maybe the guy's just, you say you talked to him. So, he's just probably just, just just kind of a happy individual altogether.
I just think that dude is a bubbly man.
Yeah.
He was straight, like giggle, happy. And so we have a young son that has long hair, and he gets mistaken for a girl a lot. And he's rocking a Spider-Man costume. And Ricky Morton goes, "Oh, she's so cute." And my wife goes, she is a he. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I got long hair." Like, so that's how our whole conversation started. And then it just like, it rolled into family stuff. And like I said, I just think he's a bubbly guy. Like, of course, there's stories that the rock and rollers like to, rock and roll. But Ricky Morton, probably the best legend that whole day. And I was happy to meet all the legends I did. But I thoroughly enjoyed him and Robert Gibb.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're just two entertaining guys still, even to this day. And yeah, definitely you want to respect. And then of course Ricky, has this school down in East Tennessee, with the School of Morton. That's what he was advertising here on his shirt. And I know he was running some like online shows like on Tuesday nights. I don't know if he does it much anymore or not, but I'd have to check into that. But I know that. But as far as we see here, of course, facing the professionals, we see Marlon McDarby and Sean Santel here kind of go over the game plans, and Robert Gibson was okay. So apparently it's on Sunday nights it runs now for those shows down with the School of Morton. So these guys were trying to talk over the game plan, but Robert Gibson was actually wanting to get into it, and the referee shoved him back, and then. I guess I don't know if they really got their stuff together, but let me kind of throw another picture in here.
The professionals were not being very professional, and they weren't really on the same page Saturday night, I have to say. And like,
thank you.
I enjoyed them. They are a great tag team. McDarby and Santel have a great chemistry together. They were not in sync that night. For some reason, they were off. They were not. There was a couple times where Santel hit McDarby, and then McDarby hit Santel once or twice on accident because Ricky Morton and them were playing, the Rock and Rollers were playing a lot of mind games. They were really using them tag team tactics and using their own tag team opponents against each other.
Yeah, as we can see right here on the next one, McDarby was going to go right at and Morton, and Sean Santel was right behind Ricky Morton, and Ricky Morton knew it and stepped out of the way, and this is what you get. Man, I'm telling you though, with the experience that this team has for over all the tag team championships they've had in their careers, these guys are masters of psychology, and they will get into your heads, and I think that's what happened here this night. And don't get me wrong. The professionals are a very technical sound team, and they're a great team. But you just can't beat experience when it comes to psychology. And they just got into these guys' heads, I think, a little bit. And I think that was kind of their downfall, because eventually the professionals did lose to the Rock and Roll Express, even on a roll-up small package by Ricky Morton. So they didn't even need to use the double drop kick. So that's and then of course there's Ricky and Robert greeting the fans. He could have been I think that was probably after the match here as well. I think
that's a great photo though.
That is a great photo. I mean,
that is an excellent photo.
Yeah, still people of all ages still come and they they deal with the Rock and Roll Express, and Rock and Roll will never die. It won't. But no, they put on a great show. They put on a great clinic. So, yeah, professionals love rock and roll music. Yes, who wouldn't love rock and roll music? And
it's what I grew up on.
Yeah,
that and the blues.
I did like their custom music that they did come out to. It reminded of one they came out to back in the '80s. That was done by ELO. Where Rock and Roll is King, and always like the same tune, but it was done by somebody else. And with different lyrics that fit them. But yeah, but no, they had some stuff. And let me just tell you, it's just kind of good to see these guys because recently I was watching like several weeks back, I was watching Peacock on the WWE side, and this is the stuff I turn to watch. I watched the old World Championship Wrestling, like syndicated shows that were done in the TBS studios back in the 80s. And, and I'm seeing these guys, and, you know, Ricky had a very good feud for a short time with Ric Flair, and even posed the threat to the world title, by himself. So, Ricky's a very, very talented individual, obviously, or else he wouldn't have his own wrestling school and kids coming out of that. So no, Rock and Roll Express was victorious. So let's get to this. 2-ring, 20-man over the top battle royal. As you can see, you see one side over.
It was very lopsided.
It was. I'm sorry, and it's the way that it was drawn. It was just odd. It's like we had to go in there and we picked out either there's certain ones. There's like 10. There's like 10. She said had like number 1, and 10 that had number 2. So guys to pick the ring number 1 is on your left. And in my ring, I had the Big Texan, Tyler Bodine, or I should say Side of Beef Bodine. And
I still love that.
And I had a Kowalski. And I'm like, this is not fair. Herb said it. The beef was in Belleville that night. Yep.
Yes. Yes, it was.
But you're talking about between me and that poor ring having, God, I don't know if I had to add everything up real quick in my head. I mean, at least about close to 1,500 pounds it's about between 1,600 pounds between the 4 of us. Okay. And then you have Superstars Defender. You had Billy McNeil in our ring. And and also you had Richard Shaw in our ring here too. So it's like there's another 300 pounds there. So I'm like, geez. And then you got on the other ring, you got Ken Casa, Chris Hargis, another rookie. You got the professionals over there. You've got Flash Flanagan over there. You got Gary Jackson over there. Jake Lawless is over there. So I'm like, okay, so like all the heavy guys were like pretty much in one ring, it seemed like. But no, bell sounded and we were off. Jason Breed, I think, was in ring 2. Niles Planquet was in that. And
I couldn't keep track of what was going on, trying to watch. And I don't know if you heard me, but I was yelling hard for you, my dude.
Yeah. I was trying to play it cool. There's definitely some, it all depends on your strategy on how you play things out, because if you have a lot of big guys in the ring, a lot of big guys are going to want to wait for people to come to them, or they're going to, in which they did, but a lot of them gravitated to the other big guys, which kind of gave me a break a little bit. So, hey, by the way, nice to meet you. And then of course, this Herb. Hi, Herb.
That was opening ceremony stuff, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks, by the way. Thanks, Ricky and Robert making another appearance. Thank you very much. So back to the action. We had Gil Rogers and Bobby D in here battling. And then going after Chris Hargis here. And of course, we see Gary. So this is all action in ring 2 over here. And just and Niles Planquet and Gil Rogers again. So this is all ring 2, because you see in ring 1 is the other one, and you can see I'm kind of hunched over.
Look at that butt. Look at that butt right there.
Yeah. If you miss it, you're blind. I'm saying you're missing, you're blind. So here we go.
There it is.
Final 2. I had to toss Big Texan over, by the way. In our ring, the final 2 was me and Big Texan. And Texan was him against the ropes, and he was trying to come in with Laird again. And I ducked down, but the thing is, I got him over, but his legs were catching. After he flipped over, they were catching within the ropes again, and it was trying to put him on the apron. So I had to kind of try to flip and kick him away from the ring so he'll hit the floor. So
Right.
that was a chore in itself. And so Gary got over there. We were battling, and this is what eventually got to be, because I was trying to kind of, I don't know what I was doing.
You were trying to hold down your weight there, is what I saw. Because
I was.
When Gary finally got you up and over there, you did a number to his back. You could see the pain on his face.
Yeah,
he gave it everything to get you over.
He finally he got an advantage of a clean and jerk, and he got one of my legs up and over, and there I go over, and
but that bump you took, like I think Jessica said it in the chat somewhere. Your back looked like you hit hard on that, but you said it was your tail, like your hip, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was more my I aggravated my left leg again on that toss over, but I'm gonna have some time to heal, so I'll be fine. So here we go, and look at this. Night Drain, Gary Jackson, SICW Central States champion.
Well deserved.
Yeah, I will say.
You know what's really fun about this man right here? He reminds me of like a little bit of the Junkyard Dog. With
a
Gary
little bit. Gary has been around the block for quite a bit, and he's a fan favorite. He loves to have fun.
Oh, dude, you could see it on his face when he came out, when him and Gil Rogers came out for the first tag team match. You could see where them two were just having fun. They were happy to be there and stuff, and it was kind of infectious. Like I really dig Mr. Gil, like killer wrestler, well deserved.
Yeah. And I will say, I was close, and Herb says, but this says a lot, which I appreciate that. But this, when I found out when I finally realized it was me and Gary, what people don't understand, and people don't know a lot this about me, when my first local wrestling show I went to around this area when I was very young, and this was the first guy, the first baby face, or good guy that I see come out of the curtain. This was the first guy here that I seen when I was in like grade school.
Really?
Gary Jackson, yes. And then he came down between me and Gary Jackson in this historical event all these years later. And I thought I had my chance of making history here. And I guess I am part of history because Gary Jackson, I was the last eliminated person in that Rumble for him to win this first inaugural title in SICW. So,
I mean, at least you weren't first. That's a plus right there.
I mean, at least I'm in the books, as how it got, who was the last one eliminated. But Gary's the ever ready bunny. Maybe the Energizer Bunny.
He's ready. He was ready to hop to a challenge right then and there after winning the title. He told Herb in his little speech that, "Give me some of it right now. I'll put the belt on the line today." So I can see where Herb's coming with that. I can get with that.
Yep.
Now I do want to bring up the fact that so we talked about Bobby D and Superstar Steve Fender, right?
Yeah.
Their match poured over to this battle royale. When Steve Fender fell out and Bobby D fell out, them two battled all the way to the back. They did not stop out from that ring. They continued to carry that. I see that to be a very long-lasting feud. And once again, this is my first ever SICW show I've ever been to. I just started watching Explosion like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'm not caught up to where everything's going on, what the company has 100%. But I see those two really giving us a special clinic of maybe a best of 5 series or something. Herb, there you go. Book it, my friend. I think those two could give us a really good best of 5 series.
Or even just a feature of a best 2 out of 3 falls match, if anything.
Ooh, that's a good one too, Ruby. Yes.
And for the appeasement of the fans, because I like to play advocate on both sides here, even though, make sure that Travis Cook and any of TCO is barred from ringside. Let Superstar Steve Fender prove himself. To be the superior in this, in between the two of them. So,
I agree. They were probably like I said, I really enjoyed the match with Jake Lawless, but Bobby D. Why do I want to say Bubby? Bobby D and Steve Fenders were definitely that was besides the main event. I mean, Herb said it last week to us. Every one of these matches was a main event, and I highly agree with him. But that was the standout match when it came to like the match that kind of stole the show. I have to give it to those two gentlemen right there. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. No, sorry, no. I mean, like I said, when we were talking about the show last Thursday, with her, he said that every match here, it could be a main event in anywhere, main event in any show on any card, with the caliber of talent that we have, and this was, this show here was meant to go down in history. It's meant to go along with one of the great shows that SICW put on in Belle Clare Fairgrounds, going back to the even back to early 80s, maybe even late 70s. This was supposed to rank up there with them, and I think I'm sure a lot of people were very satisfied. It definitely was history.
I was about to hit the same thing, but
yep.
Big Texan's right, man. It was history. It was a blast. Gary Jackson coming out that win, the Battle Royale, and in the main event, which we're getting ready to talk about. But everything,
Yep.
Every match from the opening card to the end was phenomenal. It was just beautiful.
But before we do, let's take another Legends break. Hey, there's Demolition. Oh gosh, I'm gonna strangle this.
I kind of like the Legends break. Can we do this from now on? Like we just post every once in a while. We just out of the blue Legend break.
Yeah, Legend break.
New segment.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get to that here in just a second here too. Okay, so here we go. Look at that. That's probably one of the best photos of Attila Khan right there.
If that doesn't wreak fear right there, I don't know what does, because that.
Yeah, so Travis Cook presenting the SICW Classic Heavyweight Champion, Attila Khan. And just look at his face. I mean, my gosh. This man comes in with probably one of the strongest game faces to the ring that I've ever seen in my life.
I also have to say, this might be a very bold statement, and I'm still going to make it because that's how Zmiz works. Attila Khan has the best entrance theme song out of anyone in professional wrestling today, and that's WWE, AEW, Impact. That theme song was so damn menacing.
Yes.
That I was ready for a fight myself.
Yeah, exactly. So Attila, my God, with the strong game face, and then of course here's King Haku. So look at this, Herb Simmons talking over, I guess King Haku had kind of a question on this, but there's Haku wearing the Faces of Fear shirt.
That shirt was awesome.
I love the Faces of Fear. I loved, everything. I loved everything that Haku's done between the Islanders, even with Haku was team with the Barbarian, and right, but didn't he team with Andre as well to be part of the Colossal Connection, and they were tag champions in WWF?
I think so. I want to say yes, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Champions going into WrestleMania 6. Now that I think about it,
I want to say, Herb, hit us up with the true fact.
Yeah. So here we go. You see how this match went.
Yeah, it went right to blood.
It went right to blood for sure. And there's Haku before and after another Legends break, by the way. And
yes.
there's some more.
WCW meme. That's where I fell in love with Haku.
Yeah. So sorry, there's all the Legends. And then there's you. So, I don't know why there you go. I knew it was there somewhere. Are we going to get back to that? Oh, no, I guess we're not going to get back to the action.
That's legitimately one of my favorite moments of all time. Right there.
Right there.
Right there.
So, even though this match went bloody, I'm just going to say it here at this point that Attila Khan did defeat Haku. And it was the match didn't last in the ring very much. It started out very, very quick, about the first minute. And then it was just going all around the ring. Went from using chairs, trash cans,
a table.
Yeah, Haku put Attila Khan through a table.
Correct. Yep. And there was blood all over the floor. Just these men were dripping everywhere, and neither one was really backing down.
No, neither one was really backing down. He said, lucky he didn't pull out an eye. Oh my gosh. Oh, I couldn't imagine that.
So I'm trying to do some like digging real quick to see
on the I guess I should probably try to dig too, but you know.
Well, it's stuck in my head now, so
with the
so you were right. He was tag team champions with Andre the Giant at one time. I don't know when it was going in. I'm just looking on the Wikipedia page. But yes, he was WWF tag team champions with Andre the Giant.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure
that's a menacing force right there. Haku and Andre the Giant.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the colossal connection. That's what I'm saying. You got your size and power, and then you got your speed and power right there. Because Haku had one of the best thrust kicks ever.
Oh yeah. Easily. The only other person that I think would come even remotely close to having a better thrust kick would probably be like Umaga or Rikishi.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
That's your opinion, you're sticking to it?
Yeah, straight up. There's that man, good old man, Cowboy Bob Orton right there.
Yeah. So we're going to keep it on here, but
that's a great photo.
We're going to talk about that here in a second.
My beautiful wife. You know what today is, actually? Small shout out. It is my wife and I's anniversary.
Oh yeah, I think I remember you saying something like that. Dude, what did
9 years married.
You guys spent some time on your anniversary.
You want to know what's really funny is I was at my daughter's scout meeting, and my wife texted me or Snapchatted me. Actually, goes, "Oh, by the way, happy anniversary." Neither one of us remembered. Thank you, Herb. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we're terrible. We celebrate the day we got together actually and became a couple more than we celebrate our wedding anniversary.
Oh my god, that is too funny.
Wow. So 14 years we've been together, but today is actually our wedding anniversary, and I appreciate that, Herb. That was awesome.
Wow.
Great respect, my friend.
Wow. So yeah. So what we're gonna do here is like I said, it's a great experience, and that's basically the rundown. The show lasted about 4 hours from bell to bell,
something like that. Yes, sir.
I mean, there was 10 matches in there. It was just a lot of people, and of course there was like a long intermission in between all of that, but it's just a lot to take in, and trust me, people were not tired at all. They were there to the end. They wanted to see the bloodbath between Attila and Haku. And Attila, once again, it kind of makes you wonder, because 2 years ago, Tommy Dreamer came in. I was like, oh, Tommy's going to give, Attila, a hardcore lesson. No, Attila gave Tommy Dreamer a lesson. Yeah. For her. Yeah.
I think we both hit
it. Go ahead. Yeah, he was tired. Man, I'll tell you, Herb was not just tired from the show that evening. There was a lot of prep going into it. And And then, of course, the day after, making sure that all the legends were taken care of and often to safe travels too. And of course, some legends had to leave that night too, um, but nonetheless, this was definitely an event that went down in history. And if I said it before, at least maybe at least to her, I'll say it again to make sure everybody knows what my purpose here and for my career is. I want to make sure that people talk about my name when it comes to St. Louis professional wrestling history by the time I'm done. And I'll find one way or another to make sure that's done. Hopefully, it's going to be done in a very respectful way, but well, we'll see. But what I wanted to bring up here is this. Now that we've the fairgrounds is done, so this is the reason why we're not going to be live Thursday, because myself is going to be down here along with Herb, who's going to be doing the emceeing of this. This is for with the release of the Wrestling That's a Chase book. So this is basically going to be a Wrestling at the Chase sit down, and this is going to be an open Q&A session with Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. And that will be down at the Florissant James Egan Center that's located at 1 James Egan Drive. Doors will open at 6. The event will start at 7. There is an admission price for it. It's $10 for adults, $5 for kids, for 12 and under. So there's going to be an open question and session with the audience. And all proceeds from the tickets will be donated to the Historical Florissant Society. So there will be photo opportunities available for purchase at the event. And if you want more information, go to florissantmo.com/theater. florissantmo.com/theater. And that's how you're going to be able to get that. So here's another thing that I wanted to bring up here, and I'm going to go back here in the minute. So here we go. So this is for East Carondelet, November 13th. The Human Wrecking Ball, Pete Madden, will be back, and he will be facing Attila Khan. Now, I know that there's been some people online trying to face Attila Khan, but let me tell you this. This is going to be another, if people know Pete Madden in the past, and if he even gets into that state of where the Human Wrecking Ball is, Pete Madden is, genocidal too, pretty much. And he's not afraid. He was not afraid to bleed. Attila's not afraid to bleed now. These guys may have a knockdown Donnybrook as we speak in less than 2 weeks. So the Pete Madden's coming down, and I'm assuming that is going to be a title match. But November 13th, we're going to that's what your main event is going to be. It's Attila Khan versus the Human Wrecking Ball, Pete Madden.
You really said that people are like biting at the bit to face Attila?
They are. I'm not saying how right in the minds there are, but there are.
That's crazy.
Bobby D being one of them.
Oh, but Bobby D's crazy.
Bobby D don't care though. I know Bobby D don't care. I know that. Big Texan will be there. Probably Tyler Bodine will be there. Man. So that's for November 13th. Now, here's one thing I wanted to make sure everybody knows about. Yeah, there was a official announcement made on it last Sunday night on SICW Wrestling Explosion with SICW All Star Wrestling. But here it is. This is the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame events that will take place on Wednesday, December 1st, with the induction of Sam Muchnick, Larry Matisick, and Mickey Garagiola, all legends from Wrestling at the Chase, and they will be inducted that night. So everything starts at 5:30 with autographs, inductions, and matches at 7 o'clock. And there are actually tickets available right now if you go to STL STLSHOF.com. And that's right. So this December 1st, Attila Khan is actually going to get a shot at the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship when he faces Trevor Murdoch, and that is the main event of the evening. So you go from this guy who just basically put Haku in his place, and he's going to be taking on Trevor Murdoch and a chance to become NWA World Heavyweight Champion. That is, these guys have a history going back to where Trevor got into business, going up through Harley. Attila, early in his career, he did some additional training with Harley.
Just so you know, you got a job that day.
Yes, I got a job that day. I got a job, yay! So yes, I will be on the card as well. So, ringside is considered the first 3 rows for this event. They are $50 a piece. General admission for adult is $25. Kids 12 and under is $10. There are sponsorship and program ads available. Go to STLSHOF.com for more ticket and sponsorship information here. Now, here's what I also want to do here. Okay. And we're going to stop sharing for just a moment and give this guy a break because he took my pictures out of order anyway. So you're grounded, by the way, Hack View. Let me see. Let me go back. I like this view better. I really do. I like that. Call me a geek. I don't care.
I dig it.
If you notice behind me, there's one book missing. And that's because I replaced it with, well, let me just run and grab this real quick. Oh, God,
you ain't even running at all. All you did was stretch.
Dude, did you see what I went through Saturday night? Jerk. Yeah. So this is one of my newest books I got. It's Memphis Wrestling History Presents 1982. This is all newspaper and programming that basically just put into pages here. The entire year of 1982. This is a historical year for Mid-South. If you want to know, this year, this is the infamous year where Andy Kaufman was challenging Jerry Lawler. He got that pile driver, and then of course they went down to New York and had that big fight on the David Letterman show. So, yeah. But just to kind of add a little touch to this, I did kind of bug Mr. Lawler with that. And there you see, he signed the book for me. So
he actually signed my Wrestling of the Chase book.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Lawler is very infamous for Memphis wrestling, especially for this year.
Oh yeah, that's an awesome addition right there.
Yeah, I'm going to catch up on this as soon as I'm done catching up on Wrestling at the Chase, which I would like to make another announcement if that's okay with Mr. Herb Simmons, because you and I talked about how I've got one of these books that are it's sitting in my window right now. It just only has display, but then when I done with the show, I take it down, preserve it, so it's good. And of course, this is mine that's personally autographed, and I take good care of it, but I like displaying it. But we talked about how we could, because I want to give away a Wrestling That's Chase book.
Right.
It's the holidays. So I would like on the December show for December 11th at SICW, for every paid admission, you get one raffle ticket to I know you're going to have at least one raffle ticket with your admission. And then I would like to see about having it drawn that night. And then the winner, of course, will get a copy of the book on behalf of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast.
I love it. And I think Herb would love it.
I would love to do something like that. So, that's an announcement. That's basically what I like to do. Because if you're missing out on this book, you're really missing out, period, in history, as far as one of the greatest professional wrestling eras of all time, in my opinion. Yeah. Let's give 2 away. Okay.
Damn.
All right.
Looks like we're giving one away and they're giving one away.
All right. Well, if that's what they want to do, yeah, let's do it. We'll do on behalf of SICW and then also the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. We'll give away the book. So yeah. So we'll have a chance for two people to get it that night. That would be awesome. So that's going to be on the December 11th show, and we'll, like I said, we'll do up a little artwork and we'll make some posts on our page, the Falls Count Everywhere. Oh, I appreciate that. Look at this.
Oh, we love you.
Yeah. That's, but that's awesome because we would love. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Nice gentleman. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Herb. But we're talking, I mean, 2021, even with the slow start that we had with that nasty pandemic. So very good question, Corey. Did you want to put that up? Z?
You can go to SICW
.org. Yes.
Yeah, .org. I forgot. Like I wanted to say .com. .org, and it's right there on SICW.org. And I think it's on Amazon too. But I would go right over to SICW.org, and that's where I'd get mine at.
Yep. SICW.org, and you can actually get the book ordered and it actually shipped to you. But hey, also, you're going to have a chance. I don't know how many more chances. As far as like how many appearances that Ed's going to have to where
he'll be there Thursday with you though, selling.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He
will be there. Yes, of course. Duh. This Thursday, if you want to come down, you really don't want to miss it because you don't want to miss anything in regards to what Bob has to ask, because if he's leaving an open question and answer session for for anybody to ask him anything, especially when it comes to wrestling at the Chase, his career, whatever, these guys have got great stories, and you don't want to miss out on anything like that. If you like, especially with a legend like Bob Orton, and he may have some great stories for you guys. So, and yeah, like I said, the film on Wrestling at the Chase is coming out between March and April of next year, featuring Wrestling at the Chase.
Can't wait to watch
that. Yeah, so that's going to be awesome as well. And so Corey, if you're able to come down in a couple nights, or find some friends, whatever, you want to get on this. I know that the book, I know retails for $39.95. Maybe just be on sale for $40 that night. It's going to be up, and I'm sure there's going to be multiple methods of payment. That I think it's either going to be possibly cash or electronic. I didn't know what he was doing back at the fairgrounds.
I gave cash, so I have no idea. I had $40 in hand, ready to go.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of funny because I saw it and I bought mine. And then the wife goes and it's like, here, I'm going to buy 2 more. I'm like, when I was getting ready for the match in Swansea. So, but hey, it's all good. It's going to people, and like I said, one of the books is gone because I gave it to a good buddy of mine who couldn't make it because his knees were kind of bad. He wanted to come down to that fairgrounds show, but but at least he got to hear about it from me. So, and how I became first loser in a battle royal. So here we go. If you guys have 5 guests, I will donate 5 tickets to Thursday on your program on your behalf. Okay. So, if I guess I will donate 5 tickets to Thursday's Bob Morton program on your behalf. Okay. So, all right. So I'll tell you what. How do we work that? So would they come to the door and say that the Falls Count Everywhere podcast sent you, or how will we do that? That's kind of how will we figure out for the 5 guests? Because I'm going no matter what, because I love seeing the sit downs and the questionnaires. I'll ask for me. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So here we go. If you're watching this podcast now, okay, and if you want to attend this event, that's coming Thursday at Florissant with Cowboy Bob Orton, okay. The first 5 people to ask for Herb Simmons and say, hey, yeah, I saw on the Falls Count Everywhere podcast, you would give away a ticket. So the first 5 people there will get in on behalf of Herb Simmons. Were you watching the Falls Count Everywhere podcast? So there you go. All right. So Corey, if you can find a way to get down there, remember doors open at 6, so you might want to get in line and don't mum's the word. Don't say anything, because if you hear anybody else, they might take advantage of that. Yeah, so mum's the word. Oh, no fault. Yeah, so it's all, you only ask for Herb Simmons. Okay, say ask Herb. Say, yeah, I'd like to get in on behalf of you, sir, and just go in. Yeah. So yeah, don't mention us. Yeah, you know nothing. It's not us. Oh my. So that's it for us here. Well, let's run down. I guess we have some. We got.
We got a couple news things about the WWE AEW world, I would say.
Yeah. So we're even by the year 20, we're saying how 2021 is a very crazy year. Okay. Thank you very much from you guys. Okay, so just ask for Herb about getting into the show. Just ask for Herb, guys, and so he'll know. Yeah. So just ask for Herb, and he'll know the reason why you're there. So, but as 2021 is drawing. We've got less than 2 months of the year, and even with the pandemic and everything else is crazy. The world of wrestling was still crazy at the beginning, dealing with the whole big WWE Thunderdome and how things were just so lame with computer generated crowds, and workers responding with promos from generated sounds, and it looked stupid, and whatever the case may be. But here's things are picking up as soon as things are opening up, and things are going to get, now that everything is picking up, people are just drawing drama again. And the reason I say this is because there are some rumors that possibly Charlotte may be possibly finding ways to get out of WWE contract before the end of the year.
This is some heated stuff too. This is not like there's a lot of things being said about the heat between Sonya and Becky and Charlotte Flair. And I guess 2 weeks ago it was, I think it was, that little incident that happened on live TV was kind of like the last straw, and people are not having her attitude anymore. And I still think she's going to be the one. Like, I think I brought it up like 3-4 months ago. It was when Andrade finally left. Yeah. And I was saying, I'm like, dude, I think Charlotte's going to be the one to jump ship. I really do. I think she's going to be that big spearhead. That,
right.
Because no one big's really, like John Moxley jumped ship, whatever. But he, as much as I am a Moxley fan, he wasn't a big part of the puzzle, if you ask me.
He was WWE champion, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't like a big deal or anything, or trying to take away anything of his career, but he wasn't the WWE cookie cutter style of character. So, and that's once again not taking away his ability in ring and etc., promo work, whatnot. But Charlotte Flair legitimately is, in some cases, WWE's female show.
Yeah.
She's been a stapled character from the time she debuted in NXT to the day she debuted on the main roster. She's been a focal point, and there's reasons for it, because Charlotte Flair is hands down the best sports entertainer when it comes to the female world. And once again, I said sports entertainer.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying she's the best female wrestler. Don't be like, when it comes to that WWE world, she is that good.
Right. Yeah. This is what I was covering my face about.
I mean,
that's horrible.
If that's what people are going to focus on, that's what people are going to focus on. I focus on the abilities of them, and I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I understand, but I know, but with the title swapping, and apparently they didn't go as smooth as it was written out or supposed to be, and then Charlotte was not really happy about it, and then apparently backstage heat developed between Sonya Deville and Becky Lynch between her, and apparently Vince wanted to talk to her in the gorilla position, and Charlotte walked away from Vince. So you know that Charlotte was really, really mad. You just can't do that.
Through the pandemic and everything, we saw less and less and less of Charlotte, and I just question where her loyalties really lie now. Like, does she want to be with Andrade, or does she want? What else does she have to offer WWE anyway? Let's be logistic here on it. What else does she really have to offer in WWE? Nothing. She's done it all.
Yeah. She's already held the women's title 12 times already.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think she's the only female Grand Slam champion there. Correct? Or is Bayley one too? No, I think it's only her.
Well, yeah, I think so.
If WWE has that version.
Well, I don't know. What do you consider Grand Slam? Do you consider WWE Women's, and then for both Raw and SmackDown, or just?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what their equivalent is to that for the females.
I don't know.
But
I know
NXT
Bayley
champion, SmackDown champion, Raw champion, Tag Team champion. To me, that's the.
Well, you have to put Sasha Banks in that picture too.
I mean, I'm saying, but she was like the first. There's nothing really else for her to do. Like, Charlotte, she can't go any farther in WWE. She's done it all.
How about this? How about just stop writing stupid storylines and stuff? Because why do they do that anyway? When they do this draft and then they draft each other's champions, it's like, why don't you just don't have your champion?
Champions should be off limit. Yeah, they should be off limits. That's the dumbest thing in the world. That's I can't remember. I think it was Douglas O'Shea on We Talk Wrestling posted once that he's like, how can you draft somebody to SmackDown that's already on SmackDown?
Well, I guess all the
point.
Superstars are now free agents. So like you said, when we were talking about this, you're not part of any roster when it comes to when the draft starts, and then you have to get redrafted. So, and then like that one time, one of the drafts, that started that whole thing with Heath Slater, where he didn't get drafted and he was let go, supposedly wished his future endeavors. That's when I got kids, I need to work. And all that.
God, this shit was so good.
Which it was a good gimmick. It was a good storyline. It was. So, I mean, what do you do? But besides Charlotte not being happy, in WWE, the entire brands. I mean, let's talk about a list of people though. We kind of get your take on that were kind of rumored. We got 10 names here. First one being Ricochet.
I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, okay, to a point, I do see where he's not maybe happy, but the main roster works differently.
Yeah, and as you're reading that, I'll just say, when it comes to Ricochet, all right, I've seen this guy wrestle in independence like 10 or 11 years ago. All right, I already knew that the guy was talented. So he's out of Paducah, but I was in Metropolis Wrestling. He's from Paducah, Kentucky, which is 6 miles apart. So the guy was wrestling in places I was going into and other around, and the guy was super talented. He was on a hot streak when it comes to NXT, and this happens a lot of the time when a worker is hot in NXT, and then they get up to the big brand, and then they just smash them. Well, they give them like a little bit of a shine, and then eventually they get smashed.
Well, look at Keith Lee with that explanation.
Oh, Lord, let's not go there. Oh, my God.
Keith Lee had this amazing standout moment at the Royal Rumble with Roman Reigns and stuff. And Roman Reigns, even himself, then went on Twitter and stated how much he enjoyed that altercation with him and how much he and then he praised him with and stuff on different podcasts and whatnot.
Right.
And then they done done really nothing with Keith Lee. They didn't let Keith, I like the Bearcat gimmick thing, but like, don't rebrand him like that. Like, Veer, okay? Veer's another one, okay? Yeah. And most people, the average fan, ain't going to know that Veer was in NXT at one point. I think Veer has a lot of talent. But they had him with Jinder, and then after the draft, they're like, oh, Veer's coming to Raw. Like, he was already on Raw, you fricks. What are you talking about? Don't give me some cut footage saying he's coming. That's what WWE is. They stop these builds for no reason, and then they just disappear. And that's all Ricochet has had is just, it's, okay, we're going to give you a little bit. Now we're going to pull you back. We're going to give you a little bit. We're going to pull you back. No, let Ricochet be Ricochet.
Right.
Look at Big E. Look at Roman Reigns. Look at Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. All these guys are thriving because they're allowed to be them and allowed to carry their character, their personas. The Usos are just like the same way.
Right.
On We Talk Wrestling, I got in a debate with somebody over the Usos when they started doing the Uso Penitentiary, and they're like, "Oh, it's racist." I'm like, "How the hell is it racist?"
Oh,
because they're doing the rap thing and the hip hop thing. I'm like, have you ever listened to them gentlemen talk on like a podcast or anything, or like look at their Twitter feeds where they talk about how hip hop influenced their life and everything? Like, that's not racist. They're being them. They're literally being them as a character. Ric Flair said it once that wrestling should be an extension of who you are.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if there's something that adds to your story, and it's good for development of a character, then why waste it? Why waste it? But Ricochet, though, I mean, he's just super talented here, and I'm just gonna say, even with him, when we name these guys, just kind of let us know. We're just gonna say, do you see it? Yes, they're going to leave. No, they're not going to leave. If they do leave, where do you see them going? Ricochet, I
don't see him leaving.
I don't see him leaving, but if he does, I'm telling you, Tony Khan would be gaga over getting him and using them as part of
I'd rather go to New Japan. That's where I'd like to see him if he left.
Okay.
New Japan, 100%. Now, hey, back up real quick. When I said that Charlotte Flair was Grand Slam champion, she's the latest Grand Slam champion. She's actually the fourth. It went Bayley, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and now Charlotte. And they're going with the Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the women's tag team titles. Just so you know.
Okay, perfect. Corey here is saying Lucha Underground used them better than the WWE. I bet they did.
There's a lot of people that don't agree with me. I think Prince Puma was a way better character than Ricochet ever was.
Yeah. I mean, because there's a character development behind that, and you can get behind it,
right?
If it, if the character makes sense, and with a great story background, then flow with the character. So, Drew Gulak,
I would love to see him in AEW. I'd love to see him in Impact.
Yeah, Drew Gulak, he was mainly more when 205 was actually 205 when the cruiserweights actually had a showcase, and now they don't. And it's just now it's like an NXT version of WWE main event, and doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, Drew Gulak, I don't know,
killer in-ring talent.
Yeah, he has hell of a in-ring talent, but they really haven't done much with him, and if he's going to try to get himself somewhere, I do see him going to AEW, though, because they've not really done much with them at all.
I mean, and there's a lot of his guys that he came up in the business with through Chikara and stuff that are in AEW now. So, Orange Cassidy, him, they were all part of the Colony and Chikara, and one of my personal favorite tag team trios.
Yeah,
love the Colony. Sorry, but Drew Gulak is amazing. Just a ring technician. If you haven't seen it, and I'm talking to the fans because you probably have on the network and stuff. And if I don't know if it's on Peacock now, but it should be. The Cruiserweight Classic, the first one that WWE put on.
Yeah,
highly recommend go back and watch all that because Drew Gulak and all those guys just tore that thing apart.
Oh yeah, same thing with the first Cruiserweight Classic was awesome. It's the same as the first Mae Young Classic was the best.
Oh,
that
agree.
they had, you know, and I'm glad that they're not doing that anymore. They kind of burned that out quick. Speaking of cruiserweights here, what about Cedric Alexander?
I'm surprised he's not gone yet.
Really?
Yeah. I'm surprised he's lasted as long as he has.
Yeah. If you see him going, where do you see him going though?
I'd like to probably.
Would he go to New Japan if he was given something decent? And,
I could see him going there. I would see him really fitting pretty well into the NWA world with what they're doing with the newer stuff, like with the newer people.
Yeah.
So I could see him really kind of settling in there really well. I could see him being a very good asset to Impact.
Yeah. Yeah. True. All right. To me, though, I think if they keep her business strong, I think, and that they really find a way to carry it out longer, they're going to find a way to keep Cedric, and I don't think Cedric's going to go.
Well, let's be honest. That should never have been a broken up faction.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Like you had everything set up to have a great faction run. And you could have put them probably up there with the likes of underrated factions like the Nation of Domination and all those guys. It was a very underrated thing that was going on, and I thoroughly enjoyed it and liked it.
Yeah, they never should have done it, but if they build it up again, I don't see Cedric leaving. So we'll just see. What about Sasha Banks? Sasha Banks was actually rumored about leaving. Me personally, I'll go first on this one. I don't see Sasha going anywhere.
I could care less.
Me neither.
I can't stand Sasha Banks.
No, Sasha Banks. She's not really that fan friendly. She don't like touching the fans like at a house show or anything else. I don't know. She's just has. I guess this was before the whole COVID situation went, and I saw how she was at a couple house shows. Oh man, she just basically put her nose up at the fans.
I mean,
she was a face,
right? I mean, I can respect that in some sense, where not wanting the society, people around you or anything like that. Like, I get that. But here's my issue, and this you can tell me if I'm wrong. You can totally tell me and put me down for what I'm about to say. As somebody that's grown up in the music industry, in the world of stardom and seeing stars and all that stuff all the time, I mean, I've hung out with very high-ranking musicians and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going to correlate that to the wrestling industry. If you're going to go into an industry that you're going to be face forward with fans, you're going to be put on a pedestal, and you don't want fans or anything to come up to you and talk to you, get out of that industry because you went into the wrong industry.
I agree 1,000% with you, sir. Yes.
To me, it makes no sense. Like, I don't understand it. Like, you wanted that fan and that fame, but then you didn't want the fame to go along with it. Like, that makes no sense. I want a private life. Then why'd you go into an industry? That's like that's like me going to the retail working area and be like, I'm not going to work Black Friday because I want to be with my family. No, you went retail. Like, that's what you do is work Black Friday. Like,
buy all your stuff online. Don't bug me.
It makes no sense to me. And I just don't think she's that talented.
I think, honestly, I'm sorry, Sasha Banks is overrated. If y'all don't like me for it, we've all got our opinions. We can agree to disagree.
I agreed. I agree with that. But I've never found her, like, she's done a couple things that was enjoyable. I really liked her and Bayley's match. And I will give
NXT Brooklyn 2. That stole the show.
I will give them their due on that. I'll give Bayley and Sasha their due on their tag team partnership where they were doing all that kind of stuff. That stuff was great. That stuff was gold. But I've never really got into her as a character. Plain and simple.
Right. Herb touches on this. And it's like in any industry that you went that they consider a form of entertainment, where you're going to be a musician, where you're going to be in sports. If you're not there without the fans, you're nothing. There's no one's going to want to see you. No one's going to buy a ticket to see you. Where do you think your money comes from? So you better appease it. So,
no, I do agree with wrestlers like Big E's talked about once or twice on things, and I think Kofi Kingston's another one that's talked about it. And there's others, of course, but they're the ones I think of right off the bat. If a wrestler or a musician is in the bathroom or out to dinner with his family, leave him the fuck alone. Like, it's that simple. Like, it's not hard. Like,
Right.
I don't understand why people have to be rude like that. And that doesn't mean you go stand and wait until they dry their hands and come out of the bathroom. No, you just leave them alone. Like, don't bother them.
It's like,
But if you're
It's
walking down, if you're walking down Broadway and you see them walking down Broadway the other way, no, you have all the right to be like, oh, you're Rick Ruby, you're rough cut. Like, can I get a photo? Like, I'm sorry, that's with the bill of the position.
yeah. It's like, yeah, I know Dutch Mantel went to the Bass Pro, and I know he's in the bathroom drying his hands, and I got his picture right here. I'm going to wait for him.
Yeah, like, don't do that. Like, and I even find, like, the people that wait at the airport to be kind of douchey. Like, those people are. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But if a wrestler or musician's getting off their flight and they just want to go to the hotel and sleep, let them people go. But if it's middle of the day, they're fair game.
Douchebag.
Yeah, kind of respect us. We kind of respect, the privacy if they're going to eat or whatever, because they're there, for a reason. So yeah, I totally agree. But Sasha, I don't see going anywhere at all.
No.
What about Kushida?
This is a tough one, because I think Kushida still has a lot to offer WWE, and mainly just in the NXT world. I don't ever really see him being anything on the main roster.
Yeah.
He has a lot to offer, just international talent, period, to be an advocate for WWE on that notion. I don't necessarily see him leaving anytime soon.
Right.
Because I think he's one of those people that will stay out his contract and just be there unless WWE goes, well, we don't need you anymore, get gone. So I don't see him ruffling people's feathers because I don't think he's that kind of person. But I'm kind of fine with what he's doing right now in NXT.
Yeah, he's fine, and he fits into the mold.
Yeah,
What
he
he's
fits what's going on, and it seems like they're getting ready to make a new like Japanese style tag team.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it, and I want to see what happens with it before they do something. Because, I mean, there's something special about Kushida. There really is. I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of him, but there is something special about him. I just don't know how to put my finger on it yet.
Right. Yeah, but I don't know how long he's got on his contract, but I don't see him renewing it.
Oh, no, I don't see him renewing it either. I see him going back home, to be honest with you.
Yep. Going back home overseas. So, and like I said, New Japan will definitely have some good use for him.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of talent from overseas, what about Shinsuke Nakamura?
So this is one of my son and I's personal favorite wrestlers. Money in the Bank, Father's Day. So it was, 4 or 5 years ago? I have a video of me doing the Fandango dance at that Money in the Bank match, actually. But Shinsuke Nakamura got beat up by Baron Corbin, and my son went crying hard. Was so mad about that. But I don't necessarily see Shinsuke going anywhere. I really don't. I think he's at the point of his career. He's been around for a while. I mean, the man wrestled Brock Lesnar back in the day.
Yeah.
In the Tokyo Dome.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So he's been around, done his thing, and there's not much more for him to do in New Japan. I don't really see. He could probably go to AEW, get some time in there, but I think he's going to stay in WWE and just soak up that money. To be honest with you,
this is another talent I would say just let the contract expire, and I think he's going to go back home because, like I said, he's getting ready to near the age of 40, and he'll probably will want to go back home and make one final run before he decides to not compete anymore.
But he's a fan of surfing outside of the wrestling world.
Oh yeah,
and he says America has some of the best surf spots. So I thoroughly don't see him leaving anytime soon. I think he genuinely likes what he's doing. I don't think he's unhappy. Is he probably unhappy with what maybe a little bit of his position? Possibly. I don't know. I don't know the man though. But
Right.
I truly see him just being a guy that's just, hey, I'm going to get paid and go surfing and travel the world, and I don't necessarily see him leaving.
All right, well, that's it. But if he does, he'll probably might want to maybe test the waters with AEW and see how, or make, because honestly, I don't see any guy say, "Well, I'm going to stop WWE and I'm going to go straight to Impact."
Right? No.
I mean, sure, Inspiration did that, but they were let go, and they needed to find somewhere to go after their 90-day clause was up. So,
if Shinsuke does end up leaving WWE, I see him taking a pit stop in AEW before going home. I agree with that statement 100%.
Yeah. What about Chad Gable?
This is a guy that I would love to see go to like Impact or even down to NWA. Personally, one of the most underrated talent that WWE has right now is Chad Gable, in my opinion. From an in-ring to a character standpoint, they continue to give, and like guys like Cody Rhodes, even they give some of these guys these what should be gimmicks that will make them fail, and somehow they get them to work. And Chad Gable and Otis together, for some reason, just works, and I like them. I like the heel faction. Now, I liked Otis and Tucker way more. I loved Heavy Machinery, and I'm very sad that they never got the true run that they deserved. But WWE has this thing against tag teams for some reason. Like, tag teams can't make you money, which makes no sense to me. But I think Chad Gable has a lot to offer any company that he goes to. New Japan would be a flipping amazing spot for him to be at for a little bit. Thinking him in the Junior Cup. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And we'll touch on a few more here. Well, before we do that, Corey puts up here, do you see Enzo going to Impact with Kaz? Let me just say, I don't give a damn about Enzo.
Enzo just signed with MLW, supposedly.
That's right. He did.
Yeah.
So so he's with MLW. How they're doing with their contracts, I don't know. Of course, they might give him some leniency to go to Impact, but I don't see him do anything more than that. I don't see these guys going to AEW or get anything major like in New Japan. There's my take on that.
Enzo's one of those guys that like would make just a great manager. I never want to see the guy wrestle again, ever.
Right, yeah.
But a scuzzy little manager. I'm totally with Enzo on the mic. I'm totally for him on the mic. But yeah, he's nothing special.
I get you.
Pass.
Yeah, pass. Yeah. What about Cesaro?
Now, this is my, like, okay, I say Miz is my favorite current wrestler when it comes to sports entertainment, okay? When it comes to the WWE package, it's all about the Miz. When it comes to the wrestling package, the guy that you're going to watch for the holds, for the moves, the drop kicks, the suplexes, all that kind of stuff, 100% Cesaro. Cesaro is 100% probably one of the greatest technical wrestlers to ever go in the ring when it comes to how he does things. I love his uppercuts. Yeah. I would be happy with him going to AEW. Very happy with him going to AEW, and I would be totally okay with it. But I don't want to see him leave WWE without getting the belt first. Like, I genuinely want to see him with the belt once.
He has been way overdue to be put in the main spotlight. He's way talented, and I'm surprised that he hasn't gotten to the big stuff yet. They gave it to Dean Ambrose for whatever reason, but they can't give it to Cesaro.
I mean, I agree with that statement 100%. Now, I was a huge Jon Moxley fan. He made me a fan of CZW when I am not a deathmatch fan. It's not my style. I'm not going to watch it. But there was something about him that was very infectious when I'd watch, and that's actually how I got introduced to Cesaro and Chris Hero. Was because of one of those CZW matches when they were the Kings of Wrestling, and fell in love with both of those guys. And then Cesaro was in Chikara doing the Claudio's corner gimmick, and which that stuff was just gold. So, and the man can form a tag team with pretty much anybody. There's only one other guy that could be tag team champions with everybody, and that's Kofi Kingston. Like, these two dudes have somehow found the tag team rhythm with everybody and made it like Sheamus. I mean, I said it from the get-go that if Sheamus and Cesaro became a tag team, would be easily one of the greatest tag teams to ever be formed.
Whoa. Did you say if they did, Sheamus and Cesaro? They've already been.
Here's the thing. If you go back and look at if you dig into WTW history, all right?
Yeah.
When he made his debut on the roster, I was like, put him and Sheamus together and you'll have one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Oh, that's when you said that. Okay.
Yes, and I was right. The Bar was one of the greatest tag teams of this generation, hands down, bars none.
Right.
Like, easily one of my favorite tag teams. Him and freaking Tyson Kidd, another amazing tag team. They were fun to watch. They had that classic but new edge feel to them. Cesaro deserves everything in the world, in my opinion, when it comes to in the ring. Just the guy can do it. He failed one damn promo. He fumbled one dang promo, and Vince McMahon wanted to slaughter this guy from that time forward and never use him correctly. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree.
But Roman Reigns can go thucker-tash, and he's still the fucking champion.
I get you. So we got a couple more left here, and I think I'm going to put them together because I think we kind of know where one is. But we're talking Kevin Owens. We're talking Sami Zayn. Are we eventually going to see Kevin's
leaving?
Kevin Steen and El Generico somewhere else down the road?
I am 100%. I can stand on a soapbox, and I will sell everybody. Kevin Owens is leaving WWE. In 3 months, he's leaving WWE. This is once again just my opinion, but if you look at all the and this goes out for all those marks out there or their schmarks or whatever you want to call them. I don't know how you do it, but the people that want to look into all the dirt sheets and stuff, and I thought I knew some of the lingo and stuff, and I feel like I've worked my way into the wrestling world fairly well when it comes to the local world and stuff. I feel like I have a good niche and understanding of what is wrestling. But when you leave a territory, I've been told you do the job, right?
Yeah, right.
Kevin Owens is doing his job. That's it.
There you go.
That's 100% what you see.
Yep. And you'll be lucky to see him much here. And our good friend Hope here, apparently is not a Kevin fan. He can go bye-bye. She won't miss him.
You're missing out on one of the greatest talents when it specifically. I mean,
you're gonna love Kevin Steen in AEW. I'm just gonna tell you.
When you're talking just pure ability on the mic work and pure ability in the ring. Here you go. Oh, I can't remember the pay-per-view now off the top of my head. It was ROH. All you got to do is look up El Generico versus Kevin Steen ladder match. You go watch that match and then tell me you don't like Kevin Steen. Straight up tell me you can't. This man can't work. He might look like a dad bod dude, but 100% could kick any of our tails. I genuinely believe he could fight somebody.
No, I believe it. No,
he'd be that dad at the end of the bar that no one messed with at the bar because they knew that he could whip somebody's ass. That's what Kevin Steen is. That's the character Kevin Steen is. He's the average Joe, and it works for him. And it fight Owens, fight Steen, fight. Like, that moniker was not done for no reason. The man can literally go in the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, watch this week's Monday Night Raw. Him and Big E had a freaking amazing little bout.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So,
Sammy, I have no idea. I have no idea where they're going with it. If somehow that he does leave WWE, I truly hope he would somehow carry the conspiracy gimmick with him.
Yeah.
Because that could be money outside of WWE.
Especially if he carries it to AEW. That would be funny as hell.
but you would have to also bring back El Generico. And this is how here you go, okay? Because I am a sidearm booker. and I like to make up stories. Here's how Sami Zayn goes to AEW, okay? He becomes El Generico again, who's a reporter now, and reporting on the conspiracy of his friend up north. And it's all about how El Generico went missing. And his friend never got his dues up north.
Gosh.
I set your groundwork for a year-long storyline.
There you go. Wow. No, I'll take with it and run with it, and just don't run it into the ground.
Yeah, like, go ahead. If AEW is watching us, I gave you something fun when Sammy leaves.
Right. Well, now so that's basically all the guys we have here as far as like talking about, you know, who's maybe leaving, but we're going to merge into somebody who has left, and we're kind of going back into the pool now that we're going to talk about regarding with Bray Wyatt, and the reason why we're hearing something now about how Vince did not reportedly didn't like Bray Wyatt for speaking up too creative on his gimmick in WWE. So what do you know about that, brother?
So from what I can't remember the dude's name off the top of my head, but it was the guy that created the concept of the Fiend mask and the burnt Fiend gimmick and stuff, stated on Twitter that supposedly WWE was aiming to bring the Firefly Funhouse to life, which meant characters being developed to specifically take on the personas that were on the Firefly Funhouse.
Oh, wow.
Bray Wyatt supposedly said, that's cool, but I want to play all the characters. Now, once again, this is all speculation. The guy that created not the gimmicks, but created the masks for, and is good friends with Bray, said this on Twitter. And now there's also been more reports slowly leaking since Bray Wyatt's now a free agent. So he's free to pop up anywhere now he wants. So it's a matter of time. And but yeah, they've been saying that him and Vince would get into it on a regular basis. Him and Creative would get into it on a regular basis because Bray was wanting to be more creative freedom. Vince still wanted to put his thumb on it, and Creative would try to stop him and slow him down too. And that supposedly ultimately led to his release due to also the WrestleMania match between him and Randy not going according to plan 100%. So, I mean, it's all speculation and it's all rumors, and there's no pure evidence to anything I am saying. But this is all speculation that is being circulated on the internet right now that you can go look and read yourself. So you can do your own thought process on it. I'm not telling you how to think or how to be. Right. But all possibilities are still on the table.
Yeah. Now, is this mask creator and his tattoo artist, are they the same person?
I think so, yes.
Is it Kyle Scarborough?
Yes.
Kyle Scarborough is actually a Missouri native who actually had a very short independent wrestling career with MPW, where I was over 20 years ago.
Nice. Interesting.
So, yeah, so there's a local connection with Carl, and I believe he resides in Washington, Missouri. And
I think that's right. I think that's where.
Yeah. So he has his own tattoo shop. He does his own artwork.
He also does the concept art for Malachi Black. Wink, wink.
Yep.
So, I mean,
the man's busy.
Bray. There's been so I posted, not me, one of the guys posted on We Talk Wrestling about this, and some of the other guys were like, no, how can you say that he knows this information I've created? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure if you're doing the concept art for these characters, you would be given some creative input, or like not input, but like knowledge of what's going on creatively behind WWE. They're not just gonna be like, oh, I need you to draw this this Huskus character up. Like, they're not just gonna say that. You're not gonna get just a pinpoint on the scheme. You're gonna get some dots to think it up. And this is the guy that does Bray's tattoos. They're friends. They're so like they've sat down. They've had conversations.
Oh yeah, of course.
He broke the wind as soon as Bray's 90 days was up. That's what happened.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Because I can't wait to see what happens though.
Yep. Yeah, so I can't wait to see what happens here too. But and there's been some speculation, of course, regarding his weight, how the way he was. There's just so many things that are just all over the place.
That was another thing that supposedly Vince didn't like, that he was a heavy set guy, and that's one of the reasons why Kevin's never gotten much thing, is because Kevin's a bigger dude. Like, I don't understand that. These guys are super talented, and they can go for the thickness. Why not let them go for the thickness? Like,
I don't know.
What is with these body type issues? Like, I don't understand it. Like,
some things with Vince McMahon we just won't get, and we'll just have to leave it at that. So,
I mean,
yeah. But hey,
sometimes I go back and reference CM Punk's pipe bomb promo, like about WWE would be better off if Vince was gone, but then his doofus son-in-law and
right, yeah. That was good stuff. I love the insults.
I don't, there's so much truth to that promo, but then at the same time, it's like, would Triple H be able to really carry it, or would he not? Like, I still believe if Triple H had the helm of everything, WWE would be in a lot better place right now. And I'm not saying they're not in a good place, because they're making money still. They're still making fans happy. Right. They're just not making a lot of fans happy, where AEW seems to be trying to make the consistent notion, like, yeah, I'm not happy with everything they're doing, but at the same time, the majority of their stuff I'm happy with.
Yeah. Even Herb says that will be a chapter in my book about the types of physical guys in the business. So, and that's one of Herb's projects too. That's definitely a book that
well, explain what he means by that, because I'm very lost on that.
Well, types of physical guys in the business that you were mentioning about the shapes, and how either with how they're built, or or if they're going to be like dad bods, basically types of builds of the physical builds of the because everybody knows I'm ripped beyond belief. Everybody.
Oh yeah, you're stacked with the the 20-inch pythons. Right?
I mean, I'm pancake stacked when I'm stacked.
But I was confused, because I'm like, SICW had a very good collectivity of size range and the abilities, and everybody stood out for who they were and what they brought to the table. WWE seems to not do that. Like, they don't let certain people stand out, and it's just like, let everybody build themselves up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now we're on the same page there.
Yeah, Crusher, Jerry Blackwell, Haystacks, Calhoun, Moose, Moose Chow, Andre. Big guys are great. These are guys that are huge in stature, but not muscular. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's fine. I'm okay with that. If they can still go and put me a performance on, nothing. You look at Big Texas, Kowalski, three big dudes. And even Tyler Bodine, add that fluffy guy in there. That'd be stack.
Another guy from the '80s, King Kong Bundy.
But you guys still perform at a rate that is enjoyable to watch. So if there's a fluffy guy that can perform and do his thing and make me feel like Texas literally looks like that guy that he just got out of the field throwing hay. He's going to have a cold one at the bar. Maybe shoot some pool. You're gonna F with him. You're gonna get the pool stick up your butt cheeks. That's what Texas looks like, and that's what he gives you in that ring.
Right. Oh yeah. Yokozuna.
Corey's 100% right. Yokozuna was a big man, but a big man that could really get it done in that ring.
Right. And the guys are believable.
100%.
Yep.
So like when you look at Kevin Owens, and yeah, he's a round guy and he has that dad bod, but he gets it done in that ring, and then you put a persona with him that, yeah, I'm the dad. You know, my family comes first. I'm going to fight for my family. And you give him that persona, you give him that character, and he runs with it, and he makes it something. And you make it makes you believe that, yeah, he's that dad that's going to fight anybody and everybody for you on the school parking lot because your son's bullying my son. Like, no, that's the kind of that's a character that we need in today's world, really.
Right.
You know, Stone Cold was that guy that wanted to rebel against the man, and that worked for the 90s because that's what the 90s was feeling like. We're going to rebel against the man.
Yeah.
That's why Kevin Owens works, and not let him be used correctly, it just blows my mind. I don't get it. And Bray Wyatt is the same way.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Only it's only for them to know and us to kind of
Well, I
wonder
mean,
why.
it even goes with Otis. You look at
Yeah,
Otis.
Otis. Yeah.
I mean, when I saw Otis and Tucker, all I could think about with those two through the whole thing, and this is going to show some of my age, it's Animal House. Like, that's all I got. Like, he was, what's his name from Animal House, the big partier and stuff. But I wanted to see that. Like, I wanted to see when he was with Mandy Rose. Like, I wanted to see that stuff. Like, that was cool to me.
Yeah.
Let him be that. Let him be that guy. You know, I don't know. I just look at wrestling differently, I guess.
Yeah. And boy, another nail to hit on the head. Herb saying some leaders in the business needs to be more interested in the business rather than their own personal satisfaction. True.
I mean, I agree with that 100%. Well said, Herb. Clap, clap.
Right. Exactly. Do what's right for the business and not for your own, shits and
Well, if you're going to
giggles.
say you're going to listen to the fans, listen to the fans. If you're not going to listen to the fans, don't listen to the fans. Just do you.
Right. Exactly.
Don't go on national TV and tell me we're restacking this whole thing for the fans and we're going to listen to the fans because we hear you. And then we, 2 months out of it, we get good shit. And the next 10 months, it's going to be the same damn thing.
Right. Exactly. No fans, no business, he says. Exactly. Oh, exactly. Viewership goes down, so does your revenue. So, but another note regarding with WWE Legends, Stone Cold Steve Austin was asked recently about AEW, and he was gone. This is according to WrestlingNews.co that reported it. So Stone Cold's retort on AEW is, quote, "Man, I love it. I think it's competition by proxy just because they're wrestling. WWE is wrestling, but I don't think they're directly trying to compete, but in essence they are. So I love it because it gives more people within the industry jobs. It gives more people a chance to work, and it makes WWE, it forces them to push the envelope rather than just sit back and push out content. So now your competition makes everybody better, and I'll bottom line and like that without going into details," end quote. So that's true, and we're seeing it now with on recent viewing. It's the playoff scenario, and they're trying. SmackDown going to FS. Well, they were going to FS1, around the World Series. They're not going to have that luxury here soon because Game 6 was tonight, and I don't even know if the Astros won to carry to Game 7 or the Braves won it tonight to take the World Series title. But nonetheless, Friday night is still going to be Friday night. You're still going to carry it on Fox. It's not going to go on FS1 anymore. So you're not going to have that luxury to extend it another half an hour commercial free. It's going to go back. So what do you do? So right now, WWE's going to find a way to push the envelope more on content that's going to be more for what the fans are going to want to see. So, what do you do if you're AEW, and then what do you do if you're WWE?
Now, the nice thing about that, and what Stone Cold brings up there, is really cool because you're even seeing it with Impact now, and even like not New Japan, but NWA. I mean, we got America has like 4 or 5 big companies now. You got NWA, you got Impact, you got MLW, all bringing up the bottom tier portion. They're kind of like the third stack company, right? So they're that third stack company, those three. And then you have AEW and WWE at the top. And what's really nice is it seems like everybody's really starting to. I finally got to go back and watch NWA, the one with Murdoch won
the NWA 73. Yeah.
73, thank you. I couldn't remember what number it was for some reason. I wanted to say 81. But I finally got to go back and watch some of that. And that whole card and that whole pay-per-view was just phenomenal. Really stellar work from everybody involved. Then my son and I just watched Bound for Glory finally. And that just the same was just like a really stellar card, really fun, really, we didn't know many of the people that are on there because it shifted around and changed a little bit, but it was still enjoyable for not knowing everybody on the card. It just seems like everybody's really stepping up. And then AEW, I don't know if you watched Rampage by chance last Friday.
I haven't caught up to it yet. So
holy cow, Brian Danielson. It's going to take me a while to revert his name.
Yeah.
Brian Danielson and Eddie Kingston, which Eddie Kingston's personally one of my favorite indie guys to never make it to WWE. And I'm kind of happy he never did actually now. But Eddie Kingston and Brian Danielson had one of the best televised matches I have ever seen in a long time, in a very long time. And yes, the fans can make a claim that they took a page out of WWE's book with the flick off at the end by, the triangle choke. That doesn't matter. I don't care how you got to the end. I enjoyed every bit of that ride to the end.
Yeah.
That came out really wrong after I said that.
No, yeah.
I don't mind the end. I don't care about the end. It was the ride to the end that was enjoyable.
Right.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But it was a stellar match. Dude, go back and watch that. Like, I think you would like it. I genuinely think you would like it. It was phenomenal. And I haven't kept up with WWE when it comes to SmackDown stuff because start a new job, trying to get other things going for myself on other avenues that I'm looking at. But I read about it and I'm like, I'm going to go watch this match. And holy cow, was that match awesome. And at the same time, AEW's bringing in these guys from the indie world. One of my favorites, and I'm going to give them a shout out right here. Holla Beefcake is coming in for Dark tonight to wrestle Ortiz in. God dang it! Now I forgot Ortiz's tag partner, Santana and Ortiz are fighting Holla Beefcake. And Holla Beefcake, if you have never seen them, oh my God, they are so enjoyable. They're hilarious. It's like if Buff Bagwell and Sanjay Dutt were a tag team.
Wow.
And it's amazing and it's so much fun, and they're like jacked up freaking bodybuilders and they come out with whey protein and stuff, and like it's good stuff. Like it's great, and they're excellent in the ring and they work well together as a tag team. So you got new faces coming in constantly, rotating, testing the waters, and they're showing us that instead of WWE they hide it on a dark match. AEW puts their dark matches on TV. I mean, it's on YouTube, but it's out there so that you can see it. You can see these new faces. They can see your reaction to these new faces. And that's what's very well done by Tony Khan, in my opinion.
Yep, very well. Man. So, we're speaking of Rampage, it will be on Friday night live here in town in St. Louis, Missouri from the Chaifetz Arena. And be kind of interested to see how that show is going to go down. So...
Yeah, I'm kind of jelly. The tickets were expensive, though. Like,
yeah,
everything's just, I don't know what it is. Coming out of this pandemic, it just seems like wrestling tickets have just went up in price. Not local tickets. So support your local wrestling and indie wrestling, because that's where it all matters.
That's right. Thank you. I was going to say you can go for like about an hour of television, and then of course recording the dark matches beforehand, or you could get a closer ringside seat and be in touch with some legends like you did last Saturday. But let me just say, if you missed last Saturday, you missed out.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And Corey, Warhorse is fine to a point. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's fine. It's everybody. Some things you get over. Some people just don't totally get over. So and
dude's talented. I just don't like the gimmick or the character or whatever he's trying to do. I don't understand it. Great talent.
Right.
And the match that he busted his face open, holy cow.
Oh.
Holy cow, dude. Like, props off to that man. Like, I have nothing. I don't want to see him ever fail in the business because he does really good. I just don't understand the character. And it is each to their own. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Right. Yeah. Which, by the way, going back, the Braves actually did shut out the Astros tonight, 7-0. So the Braves are World Series champions, and we won't see baseball again until March.
Thank God.
So the Braves pulled it out.
Because we got a real sport going on right now. It's called hockey.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, my team ain't doing crap, but
I like my team. My team plays tomorrow.
We've lost like every game.
Well, I think the Blues are 6-1. So yeah, we're not doing too bad.
No, you guys are doing pretty good this year.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, we haven't reached 10 games of the season yet. So there you go. I'm going to put this up for Corey.
Hey, I respect it. And just talk to me when you get more cups.
Yeah. No. I know. I get you. So you're Blackhawks, right?
100%.
Oh yeah. How's that game? How's that game last Saturday? Or what was it?
We are bench warmers 100%.
No, we can't brag much because we barely got by with the skin of our teeth with a 1-0 victory. So we can't.
Although I'm like really excited this year because we have Fleury on our team.
Oh yes.
So
came over from Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see that's my backup team. Like I'm one of those people, like I'm gonna root for my guys all the way through. But when it comes to like the Stanley Cup or the playoff or whatever, I don't watch football anymore, so I don't care with that, and I'm not a baseball fan. But I always have that one team that if they're in the cup too, in the playoffs for it, and my guys get knocked out, I'm gonna revert back to my backup team. And when I started watching again thoroughly, that's when the Knights got introduced. I'm like, that's gonna be my backup team because they're brand new. Like that's gonna be my secondary team, and I've always been. And they had Fleury, which is one of my personal favorite goalies to ever play the game.
Yeah.
So it made it better, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got a good. I mean, he had a good showing against the Blues last weekend. It's just one skip through, and that's the only goal that went the entire game. Torrey Krug able to get it through. So
I mean, they might be able to pull it together, but I'm with Corey. I don't think the Blackhawks are going to win anytime soon. They got to get rid of some old dead weight.
Oh man, I hear you. But like I said, with you and I back and forth, there's some moments that we're going to agree to disagree, and I could be. It's been quite an exciting day for me because there was a morning radio show I used to listen to, and like I said, I want to let you guys know that we respect your opinions. We want your opinions, and we can always agree to disagree, or we can agree on the matters. But the things that we will never do here is we will never personally attack you, like one person did on a morning show to its listeners this morning. And I actually filed a complaint with the FCC this morning because the dude he actually called one listener an a-hole in a P word that rhymes with brick over the air broadcasting FM broadcast. So
wow,
yeah, I know, and that's because the day before, one of the on-air talents that was one of the main reasons I listened to her because she brought a lot to the table. And apparently one of the guys here was getting frustrated to the point not giving her a clear answer and told her that she was acting like an imbecile. So and she's smart, she's talented, and yeah. So let's just say a certain dial around here, 100.7, will not be getting another listener ever again because of that, or unless they fire all the talent and they start from scratch and they bring the person back. But yeah. But I will say here, God bless you, Tabitha Hassel. Thank you for being a contributor to what used to be my favorite morning show. Now that you're gone, I don't give a damn what it happens. So we will never personally attack anybody here on the False Count Everywhere podcast. But
nope.
But when it's show day, though, and you come to see me wrestle, I may be a little bit of a jerk because I got to get my game face on. But depends on how I may be a jerk. I may be somebody that's excited, but who knows?
That's the one thing I love about We Talk Wrestling too, is there's a lot of fan wrestling talk groups that, like, let's say I'm not a fan of Jeff Hardy, okay? No one gives me crap about it because, like, I don't care. I'm going to tell you what I think about him and why I don't like him, what I say. But if you go, I love Jeff Hardy and I think he's amazing, blah, 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 and you tell me why you love him, guess what? At the end of the day, I'm going to be like, I'm glad you're still his fan.
Yeah.
Let's go have a beer or something. Like, We Talk Wrestling has that world too. It's 100% about respect. We'll get some heated arguments. I'll tease you about some people. 100%. Like guys that like certain wrestlers, I'll be like, blah blah blah, make fun of them because just because. But
right.
But it's all in fun and games, and that's what it's all about. Wrestling's supposed to bring people together. Like, that's what wrestling was meant for, is to bring people together. That's why Wrestling the Chase was such a popular thing. It brought people together of all groups, ages, sexes, class when it came to the money financing. But for me, that's what wrestling's all about. And that's what I want to bring forth into the wrestling world is some type of unity again, and where it's cool to talk to your friends that, hey, did you see this happen? Like, that was awesome. Like, we're going to the local wrestling show this weekend. Let's go. That's what we need back in wrestling.
Yeah. And I appreciate this very much here, Corey. Thank you very much for that. And there you go. And I like it when you list from start to end. And trust me, we're going to be finishing up this very soon. Yeah, yes. Like peanut butter jelly, smooth working. That's right. And only creamy peanut butter for those sandwiches, dang it.
Fact.
Only creamy peanut butter for those sandwiches, man.
And a good helping slather of it, too.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm pretty bad at that. And then my sandwich then I take a bite and I'm like, oh my, what?
If it's not gushing out, it's not a right peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh, my goodness.
Unless you're toasting it. Not toasting it, but have you ever had a fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Like you do a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh, bro, that's a whole nother level.
Dude. What is up with people with fried sweet stuff? Twinkies, Snickers bars. What the hell are you guys doing?
Let's
add more fat and calories to it.
Just grill it, buddy.
It's got fat and calories.
Just grill it like a grilled cheese.
Like deep fried double stuffed Oreos. What the hell, dude?
I mean, I'm in. On. You had me at deep fried.
Yeah, but for me, it's like country fried steak. It's like, bloomin' onion. Come on, man. That's the stuff I like.
Sold 100%. Give me a bloomin' onion.
If it would take my family out, I'd be the only one eating the tune. They don't like onions at all. Oh, shoot, man.
Missing out. This has been a great show. This has been a good show tonight, Ruby.
Yeah, it has.
We did awesome.
Yeah, it has, man. It's been great. It's a great special Tuesday night edition. And, it's just, I appreciate everybody staying to the end because we know what time it is here. And we just kept going on. And that's what we do. We just sit here and keep going on because we've just got a lot to banter about. And just some great stuff. And like I said, I want to thank Z, first off, for coming down last Saturday and just taking observance of the show, of the atmosphere was then, because you guys, I mean, you've got to know, Now that you said that you've seen an SICW show, now you know what it's all about.
Oh, 100%. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it 100%. It's just too bad that it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a hiccup there.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's just too bad that I have a family of 6, and it's hard for us to get out to things like that. Even that small little show, and it didn't cost us that much. $98 for all 6 of us to go there, and then gas and all that stuff. But when you're a working class family member and you're living 2.5 hours away, it's kind of hard to get down there. I'd love to come see more. I had a blast. I was a pleasure to talk with her for a little bit, and I'm still very, very holding on to the gratitude that he gave me about the good job that you and I are doing on this show. I got to talk to some amazing fans that are like, hey, wait, I recognize you. And I'm like, Zach Burton or the Gym City Mouse Zmiz, False Count Everywhere with good old Rick Ruby, Rough Cut, and got to promote us a little bit and talk about our show. And it was very humbling, and it makes me feel really good that I feel like I'm finally going the right direction to where I want to be in the wrestling world.
Yep. Hey, trust me, you've done more than proved your fill here, man. I mean, you ain't going anywhere.
Oh, humbling! Thank you, my
Unless
friend.
you decide to take your stuff, or you grab a box, put your stuff in it real quick, and run out the door.
No, I genuinely like 100%. I'm humbled to be here, and it's been a pleasure. And I'm willing to go on this crazy journey with you. And I can't wait to see what else we can cook up and what other wrestling venues that I get to go see and do. And heck, maybe I could be a roving reporter for SICW one day. Wink, wink.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah, but like I said, you've seen SICW, and but now you've got to get down to one of my other promotions that I work for, which is American Championship Wrestling.
Yes, that is the next goal.
That is the next goal. And there you go, play-by-play. So I guess what he's color commentator?
I like that idea too, my good man.
Yeah, color commentator. There you go. But yeah, American Championship Wrestling is they're doing some great stuff too, and they've got shows going into 2022.
You guys, they've had some great legends too in the past come and hang out with them and visit and share their knowledge with the wrestlers, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Dr. Drew needs a partner. Oh, wow. Wow.
You call my people, and I will let my people know that you're going to be contacting them, Mr. Herb Simmons.
There you go. There you go.
We can work out a deal, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, ACW in the past has brought in Kane and Dr. Tom Pritchard, from the Jacobs Pritchard Wrestling Academy, where Miss Hyde is a graduate from. And so, well, we're going to have to, what do you say? What's your wife's number?
That's good. That is my people. That is my people, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, get a hold of Z's boss. Yeah, what's your wife's number?
She's an amazing woman. I love my wife dearly, and I'm glad that she allows me to do this and pursue my dream, why I support her dream here. And it's a real damn pleasure.
Yeah. We just try to make everything go in motion, and we just got to keep moving on. But, man, but what a great show tonight. Yeah, once again, Z, thank you very much for this. For the special Tuesday night edition. Always, great to banter, great to talk about some things. Yeah, that's right. Behind every man is a better woman. And my wife
fact.
Fact for me as well. And I'm not just saying it too. But hey, reminder guys, this Thursday, who knows? Maybe we may re-air this at a later time. But Thursday night, Florissant, Missouri, James Egan Center. Make sure doors open at 6 and the event starts at 7. The first 5 guests, if you ask for Herb Simmons, he'll get you in the door with your admission. And remember, there's going to be autograph and picture opportunities there for you as well. And for SICW, November 13th, at the East Crime Community Center. The Human Wrecking Ball Pete Madden versus Attila Khan for the SICW Classic Championship. And remember, if you keep that ticket stub, come back the following day, November 14th. When doors open at noon, and we'll start at 1 o'clock for TV tapings for SICW All-Star Wrestling. So that's always a fun day to hang around on Sunday afternoon as well. And remember, December 1st, the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame down at the Viking Holiday Inn, right off in Sunset Hills, Missouri. That's right off of 270 at Lindbergh and Watson. Remember, stlshof.com is where you want to go for ticket information and also for sponsorship information. And hey, we'll get into it later, but apparently we're going to be giving away 2 Wrestling at the Chase books at the December show at SICW in East Carondelet on December 11th. So, like I said, we still got a lot going on in 2021, Z, and I can't wait for it to all happen and go down, man.
I am ready to see what we bring for the end of the year and what we're going to do for the beginning of the 2022. So I see good things in our future.
Oh, yeah, I do too, man. Absolutely. So, for the Gem City Mouth Zmiz, I am Rough Kendrick Ruby. Thank you very much for hanging in tonight, guys. And keep tuning in to the page, and we'll let you know about our next guest for next week. So, thank you very much for hanging out, and we will see you all next week. Thanks again for everybody tuning in to tonight's episode of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. Don't forget our friends at the following: the Searcher and Hide podcast and Outside the Ring STL. The Falls Count Everywhere podcast is an LTX Enterprises production.